Yes. Okay, so my apologies. I kind of lost track of what we were saying about cops.
Nobody
No,
does.
well, I think we're good on that. You don't like them. We're kind of in the middle somewhere.
But we all, you guys pretty much agree, like, fighting a cop is a bad idea, right?
Fighting a cop, don't do it,
Yeah,
America.
yeah. But we can
Or
all
anywhere,
agree with
really,
this,
probably.
but I disagree on the fact that if you think your life is in danger and you believe the person who's supposed to be following the law might kill you, I think in those situations you're allowed to fight back, and cops should be able to fucking back off from a situation that they can't handle because I was about to point out. Oh yeah, that was
They're a big babies.
that's what I was about to point out. The mere fact that cops technically are trained to, to suppress and subdue people with hand-to-hand combat and not like karate style.
But there's no guy. There's no way that cop.
Mm.
Now maybe okay, yeah. If they had better pay, maybe we could find better fighters. But there's no way that guy was kicking that guy's ass physically with his hand.
But that's what I was trying to point out. The mere fact that he could realize the situation was a disadvantage to him, he should have just backed the fuck off. And that's where I was trying to say, like, the fight and flight process in a human being should be there for cops, even if they're taught to fucking, be gung-ho pieces of shit. So yeah, but I digressed to the whole hating cops thing.
On to something less controversial.
No, we're getting into something
Israel,
worse.
Palestine.
Exactly. Which is, I mean, I wanted to talk about
So
this.
you like Palestine? Go on.
Okay, well, I do not like the useless. I mean, I do not like what's
You
my
like Hamas?
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, the useless loss of human life. I am not fond of that. And
Even if they're Jews.
what?
Even if they're Jews.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Okay,
religion
go
has
on.
nothing to do with it. It's a life that's being
It's
lost.
an ethno-religion.
Okay.
Go on.
Anyways, all I'm trying to see is you guys' perspective on it, because technically the situation that we just saw with the cop and the individual is the same thing you can view with Palestine.
I don't think it is. I don't think
No,
it
is.
is.
No. It's a terrible
Yes,
comparison.
it is. It is the
Is
same.
that why you started with that?
I
Yeah.
wanna die.
Yes.
Okay. Now, okay, but let's hear your take on it first, because you had our take first on that one. Let's hear your take.
My take is technically Israel is 100% at fault, no matter what the outcome people want to say. They're 100% at fault because they're their oppressors. They're the ones killing on a regular basis. They're the ones who refuse to give autonomy to Palestinians. So, in my personal opinion, they're 100% at fault for this escalation. And yada yada yada. I'm not siding with Hamas or any of that shit. I'm just saying they basically caused the chain reaction that allowed all of this shit to happen. And in some way, I think they kind of are happy that it happened, so that way they can do what they're doing right now. Any disagreements from anyone?
Well, usually I play terrorist just because I like the AK more than the M4.
Okay.
So
Same.
I don't know.
You guys are
Max?
all agreeing on
Max?
with me?
Sorry, what's the question?
Whose side are you on? Palestinians or Israel?
Uh, whichever is against Israel.
Whichever is it. Okay, so then do you think Israel are doing crimes against humanity kind of thing?
Well, everybody thinks that.
Okay, so then the one Audrey V, do you think the same?
That Israel is doing crimes against humanity?
Yeah.
No.
No. Please enlighten us to your no.
Yeah, I just think they're in a war they've been in for a long ass time. I wouldn't consider that a crime against humanity.
You Okay, wait. So do you think that do you think Gaza is not an open air prison?
Like what? I don't understand the response to what I said.
You don't think Israel is engaging in crimes against humanity?
No.
Crimes against human rights?
Maybe. But can you call it that when it's a war?
Yeah, you can. You can call it that. There are rules of engagement, which I think pretty much everyone agrees on. Do you... What?
So do you think the representatives of Palestine play by those rules?
Do they have the ability to do anything other than play by the rules?
Do they have the ability to not commit war crimes? Probably. They could probably not.
Give me a second again. Hello?
It
don't
was
know.
not personal because we also know you have obvious refusals to suck off your incel husband, but it wasn't personal to you. Okay?
She probably licks it.
Yeah, but like just like literally like click 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 click, you know, like 3 little passes.
Just to get it wet enough to put it in.
Exactly.
He actually doesn't like it.
What?
To be fair, I don't either, but
You don't like getting blown?
not like if some people are good at it. Some people are really good at it.
Right, Daniel?
Well, unless they use teeth, then you have to
No,
keep
no,
it.
not just as seriously. Like some people are just not particularly good, but like if they're very good and if they put a lot of science and enthusiasm, then yes. But even then, I have to say the feeling is good, but it doesn't escalate it. It doesn't make me closer.
But you have to understand, they're not born knowing. They need a little,
No,
guidance.
yeah, but I don't have time.
You know, time?
I don't have time to teach people how to suck me. You know?
How to orally please.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
Explain
Again.
friction and movement. Oh, okay.
Too
hey.
big of an ask.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get back to the whole V thing. So you think because it's a war, it's fine for them to be doing what they're doing, right?
Who?
Israel, what the fuck?
Yes.
Are you just saying it just to say yes, or are you saying it because it's your actual opinion?
They're in a war. Things are different in a war.
So everything goes in a war. So they can use chemical warfare. They can.
Wait, I didn't say that they could do anything in a war, though. It's just that in a war, like, there's different, like, limits. Now, I wouldn't say that those limits go to, like, beheading babies or whatever, but, you know.
Oh.
Something like that.
Okay. So
Now let me ask this: if Palestinians were albino, does that change anyone's opinion? They're albino. Now Palestinians are albino.
What does that change?
I'm just curious if anyone's opinion changes.
I'm a little confused by the albino thing. Do you think if they were just light-skinned individuals, if our opinion would change?
I wonder. I don't know. I'm asking. They've got no pigment.
Okay.
Does anything change?
No. Israel is still doing...
They have straight hair and no pigment. How about that?
Yeah, still wouldn't change anything. It's still
Okay.
a crime what they're doing.
I'm just curious.
I find it very interesting. Okay, so what do you think of the war, Daniel?
I have zero thoughts, to be honest. I mean, it's sad. That's pretty much the end of my
Everything is
thought.
sad
I'm not,
for you today.
I'm
huh?
not in. Well, yeah, that shit is sad. I try to avoid things like if I got informed enough to have an opinion, I would just be depressed.
Wait, what would make you depressed about it?
The information that I got, it sounds really depressing, so I avoid it.
But that's like burying your head in the sand. And
Yes.
what? That doesn't help.
Okay, what am I
Pretending
doing
like we're an
differently than you?
ostrich.
What am I doing differently than you based on the information you may have?
Nothing.
What are you doing? What are you sending money to Hamas? What is your action?
Am I sending money to Hamas? Nothing, actually.
Okay, so we're in the same spot
Yeah.
as far as action goes.
Yes.
I'm just less depressed about it.
What makes you think I'm depressed about it? I'm just
Well,
finding
okay, you're not human, so maybe you're not depressed about it.
I find it hilarious that the world government.
But can you say it's a depressing situation?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's a stupid situation. It's
Sure.
the most stupid situation on the goddamn fucking planet. Are you telling
Yeah.
me that allowing an open air prison for descendants of people that you believe to be criminals, you believe they should be punished for previous fucking generations' actions? This is literally what Israel is saying is okay. It's okay with, and the rest of the world is saying it's okay with, and it's disgusting. Humanity is the most piece of shit fucking thing on the planet. Compared to every other fucking creature, humanity is the worst, vile, disgusting piece of shit on the planet. And I would love for you guys to disagree with me.
Well, some other species they
Like
rape
what?
a little
Like
bit.
what? Tell me what.
They
other-
rape. I've seen rape.
From what?
I've seen
Otters.
I've seen
from
animal.
dolphins?
I've seen animal rape.
Okay. Okay, so then we're gonna go with some animals rape, humanity rapes.
Yeah,
Okay, what else?
that's
What else
fine.
do you got? Do they fucking do genocide? Do they fuck? What?
Well, I don't get to choose if I'm human or not, and if I could, I probably still would.
That is fine. That is fine. I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just saying, do you think that humanity has the right to say that it is the most intelligent thing on the planet and then have stupid actions like this happening?
I don't see dolphins with laptops.
What does that even matter? Do you think
Well, I can't be that smart.
do you think laptops are gonna work in water?
Waterproof ones, yeah.
Waterproof ones? Do you think smelting and all that kind
But
of
they
stuff?
haven't figured out how to make any of their electronics waterproof yet.
So you're saying just because we have I'm even gonna be generous and say technological advancement over other species. Do you think that gives us some kind of superiority over them? Is that it, Daniel?
I don't think it makes us like, better than them necessarily, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, I understand our disregard for them, but not cute ones. You know, you gotta respect cute ones, I think. If we find it cute, I don't like that, you know, if they're mistreated. But the uglier animals, not as worried about it. But you guys were talking about Israel. You guys go back to that. Maxos, what do you got?
Yes, Maxos, what is your opinion? Because I think Maxos is more on my side. He's more for Palestinians, right,
Okay.
Maxos?
I'm afraid I am. All right, how do I get out of here? Yeah. I mean, I think pretty much Israel is an occupying, colonizing power, and because of the way the history turned out, not completely because of their fault, but mostly. Now we're in a situation where basically it's like South Africa. There's apartheid. There is half of the population that is basically bullied into not mattering at all and having no power at all. All of the sources of electricity, of water are controlled by Israel at this point. So basically, basically it's apartheid. Like they just own these. So basically it's a shit situation where there's this powerful half of the population of this place which is subjugating the other half, and then of course within this mechanism there's going to be groups on both sides who are particularly belligerent or not, and there's going to be massacres every now and then. There's going to be desecrations, and there's going to be all this crap. So, but historically, from the big pictures, there's a colonizing power that is subjugating less powerful group. Like that's the way I see it.
So, do you think that Hamas is 100% banned because of their actions?
That's a very complicated thing to assess. Like I think in 20 years, you would have. My guess is that you would have. It's possible that in hindsight, people would say, "Oh, Hamas was actually an important force that turned things around somehow." It's not impossible, but I mean, obviously, I personally, on the human level, I think they're all awful people. Like I would not have any sympathy, but I'm not so naive to think that. I mean, sometimes awful people are able to be kind of like instruments for the better. I'm not saying that they are. My guess is that they're not. My guess is that this is not helpful for the Palestinian cause. I want to clarify, but I do think that we are going to be way more have a more nuanced approach to them in 20 years.
So, you think that their actions may have shone a light so that way the rest of the world acknowledges what kind of history? No, you don't
I
think
don't
so?
think so because no because at the end of the day, I think mostly the in terms of PR, it's a very bad move, right? What could but what could this could like like change is that it's possible that the Israeli response is going to be so out of proportion that's going to then escalate the situation and actually make a change. But that could be a much worse change. So my instinct is to say that that's worse in general for the situation. But what I'm saying is that still, when you have an occupation, a war, and so on, like you can't really pick like the warring like actors. Like so. Although I have no sympathy for like people in Hamas, at the same time, well, they do run Gaza, so they provide for the people there and so on and so forth. Like I think it's complete. It's a complicated thing. I mean, of course, I would pick for Gaza to be run by a different organization because Hamas is incredibly religious and clearly extremistic and you know anti-Semitic and so on and so forth. But that said, I don't know. It's an extreme situation where I think you have to like you can say, oh, okay, because the organization that is doing the fighting on your side is particularly criminal, that invalidates your side. Like you can't do that in a war. It's not something you can do. Like clearly, right? The Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings were criminal, but that doesn't invalidate the fact that the U.S. was there on the right side of that war, right? So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Okay, V. So, V, give us your rundown of how you think it's going for the war.
Oh, I don't have a rundown on that.
You don't have any opinion. You didn't inform yourself about it, how it's going down, or anything of that sort.
It's not my particular interest.
Yeah, but I'm also a little uncomfortable with equivocating collateral damage with like purposefully killing babies.
Retaliation.
That's a little different, I think. Collateral damage versus killing babies, like collateral damage of bombs being dropped versus specifically targeting babies to kill. That's a little different, right?
Wait.
Well, no,
well,
I don't think. I don't think that's what I meant.
Wait, 1 second. Wait, 1 second. What are you talking about, Daniel?
Wait.
Well, from what I've heard,
Rich.
agents that represent Hamas purposefully killed babies.
So do you?
So
think,
So what I'm saying is he's saying that it's equivalent to like, okay, there's collateral damage in war when you drop bombs, but if the target is a baby, that's different.
So
Right, but
indiscriminately
so what I'm saying is
shooting
that
bombs into Gaza, killing babies, people, innocent children, all that kind of shit. Like that is not.
It's bad. It's all bad.
It's all bad. Okay.
right, but it's not okay. 1 second. It's not what I was saying. What I was saying is that I was taking a step back from the collateral. Like the collateral isn't the collateral in a specific action. What I'm saying is that collaterally in a war, you're going to have some organizations, some warring parties that are criminal, that are just like awful human beings, right? And obviously, the people who behave. Well, okay, actually, let me make a parenthesis first, which is that I am almost certain that in 1 year, probably already, we will have a way lower assessment of the sort of cruelty and amount of atrocities, because we all in war, we always start with incredibly exaggerated atrocity tellings, okay? But okay, even assuming that that's going to be exactly correct, that they beheaded babies and so on, what I'm saying is that it's not collateral that the babies get beheaded in a rightful action. What I'm saying is that in a war, you're going to have some groups and some armies and some parties that are made of or that have criminal intents. And that is a collateral, not damage, but it's a collateral effect of being in a war, that you will, like the fact that the opponent puts together a criminal fighting force versus a more restrained fighting force. Of course, one of the two is better, but you cannot just pick and say, oh, because the opponent has that type of fighting force, then they are wrong. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like even if the U.S. Army in World War II had been a particularly violent, criminal, and cruel one, it wouldn't have that meant that, oh, you know what? Maybe Germany was right invading Poland. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about. It feels like isn't the military force that's fighting on behalf of Palestine is Hamas, though, right?
Yeah, I think
that
that's
specific
their
case,
force. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I
that's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying. I'm
It
saying in
gives
that
me
case,
it gives me weird vibes to see like the cheerleading of things that are specifically to me seem unnecessary to win the war, but are just cruel.
right. Which is what I'm saying, that I think this is a bad move, and I don't cheerlead it at all. I think it's an awful thing that they did that is not productive, and so yes,
So
I
you're
have heard some people
anti-targeting
cheerlead.
civilians in general, or I just
Well,
want to clear
yeah,
that
I mean,
up. Do you think the targeting of
sure.
civilians is necessary
Okay, but
in this
Well,
context?
wait,
It might be. I don't know.
One second.
wait. 1 second.
Let me respond.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. No, I think that generally targeting civilian, like if you really want to push me, in some situations can be an acceptable thing. Like if you are a completely overwhelmed force and like your only way to do something is like to target civilian infrastructure, let's say, I think I would leave a possibility for that. But of course, I mean, in this specific case, if the target had been actually specifically targeting kids, then no, there is no excuse for that. If you're saying, is it conceivable that you should be able to target, let's say, settlers? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I would leave the option for that to be a possibility. But I don't want to commit because I honestly don't understand the situation. But
What's the
in
age
general,
limit? What's the statute of limitations on the settler killing? Because
no, but that's the thing.
it makes
But
me
that's
very
exactly why it's
uncomfortable about
complicated.
these natives if the statute of limitations doesn't run up.